So, welcome back, and this will be part 3, I think, about talking about shields. So, I'm going to focus more on small shields. These are light, you can handle them, you can swing them, you can do whatever you want. But the problem is how they're designed. This one is particularly designed for me, and me only. That's why it's so small. Is to cover my torso and my legs and my head. And the reason I designed it this way is for me and for nobody else, because I want to be greedy. But it gives you a really distinct advantage. It gives you the ability to rush as hard as you want, and giving you a certain level of protection that you need. And the big ability is that you have it strapped to your arm, and you can still grab, you can still fight with it, you can punch with it, you can block. And it's your arm. Who doesn't know how to use their left arm? Of course, not for riding. Another way you can do it is that you have, well, a few ways that you can do it is you have straps that run all the way down your arm, and your arm goes through the end, boop, grabs a handle, boom, boom, and yeah, you grab the handle. Another way you can do it is that you just have one little strap, and yeah, or you can just go without them and just have the handle, which is weird in my opinion, because you just don't have that protection and you have to set it down whenever you want to do certain things. Now obviously that thing can be tiny or it can be bulky as this. That's just how it works. And the shapes that you can use is circles, diamonds, like kind of diamonds almost, boom, diamonds, and squares. Boop, boom, boom, boom. And the reason I'm adding the round end is so you don't jab yourself on accident. And those are the few things that you can do. These generally don't have a part right here to keep your hand protected. And I did a layer of tin. The tin is to slow down the blade and just weaken the blow. Because on these you usually have boom, boom, or just slightly bigger. And these you can do and your arm would run right through here, through a strap or a full arm guard. And you do boom. And another problem with these is that your arm is so close to that little piece of metal, you have an arrow that could go through. Like anybody's gonna be using arrows, oh my fucking god. But then an arrow comes through, hits your arm, Y-O-U-S-P-I-K thing, and not help. Okay, so that's the problem, is that if it busts through that, it's going into your arm, killing you. I mean, not killing you, but your arm's going to be hurting. And I would advise using plywood and steels, because the problem with this is it has a continuous grain. So if somebody hits along here, it'll split it. And I don't think I need to talk about splitting with you, you pushed into an object, forcing it apart, cracking it, or busting it like what would happen with this. Bust it apart and then there goes your hand. And you can prevent that by putting steel straps along it. You could put steel straps on the other side, doing fun stuff, and yeah, which would also, it would help get more durability. Adding a little bit of weight, especially if you used aluminum, it would make it really light and work really well. So it's just the way you design it, you test it, and the way you want it. Another thing that you can use on those is plastics. Use plastics on them, but it's a little iffy, because some plastics like to shatter, and some will straight up not be strong enough to withstand it. And yeah, one thing you probably can do is layer them. Grab some silicone caulking and some really strong glue like a fiberglass resin and fiberglass. If you use fiberglass, whew, they're going to have some trouble, especially layered. You have 5 layers of that stuff and a good batch of resin with a lot of hardener. You are well set, because fiberglass strands going that way. This is a really small level, and they have so there's your strands right here. They have epoxy in between all the little strands. That means if a big blade comes through and it has to deal with this plus 5, which I'm just gonna add a lot more since it looks really puny. And these are really densely packed. And there's 5 layers of this. 5 layers if you want to. And the resin in between it will kind of gap them. And this blade, only if it's like that thin, it'll get somewhere. Plus this blade would have to be really thick to actually withstand it. But that is tiny. In retrospect, the blade in your hand would be about that thick. And nobody wants a blade that thick, because somebody else smacks it, it bends or shatters. But boom, fiberglass is really good. Honestly, if I could, I would layer all of this in fiberglass, and it would give it a really cool look. Just nice and smooth on the side and all that. But I'm not going to do that, since that shit costs a lot. One thing, what else could you use that's pretty cost effective? Like I said, aluminum. If you layered aluminum upon plywood, you'd be really well set. Especially against something thin like that. Give it a little weight, but honestly, in my opinion, I could withstand that. Build it to what your specifications are, and you will be golden. And also handle. Make the handle the right fit for your hand. This thing is way too thick for my hand, so you want to do something thinner like this. This is a little small for my hand, but it is doable. And add stuff that'll help you, like that. Let me show you what this does. I'm gonna throw it on really quickly, and you're gonna see it whenever I put it on. Alright. It looks kind of odd right there, but boom. It is to carry your shield as you walk upon the battleground. And I know it looks ghetto, but that is actually really helpful. Because then you have your weapon, and then you just got your shield on your back. And if you have your pouch, you can just be talking with buddies with your weapon on your side. And yeah, that's just how it, just add little tiny details that'll help you. And there's no way that you're hauling that armor with with this much efficiency. And build it to your armor specifications. That armor is probably standalone, and the only shield I would add to it is that, and that is excessive. Believe it or not, that dinky little shield is excessive. And if I'm fully covered in armor, why do I need to be fully covered with a shield running? Because then I got the weight of that, which is, let's say about 50 pounds, not 50, 30 pounds probably over. And then I got the weight of a, I'm gonna put this in properly built one, which is probably another 10. To be honest, you don't need that. That's my heavier one. This light built shield will do you really well, because see how much my body it covers? Almost all of it. And if I'm really ducking and I'm in my battle stance, you can barely see me unless I look over the side. You can't really do anything besides counter. Then I'm gonna fuck you up. Just something like that. But build them to what you got. You got a set of armor, build it to that set of armor. Do not be thinking that a shield will protect you from everything. And that'll be all for right now, and see you later. Bye. In a few seconds. 3, 2, oh wait, no. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.